Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as you see, the girls are being held and the other girls are on the railing. So it'll be a rolling start. This is how the elimination race is set up as well. And the riders are seeded on their position overall. So there we go. Zoe Backstead gets pushed off as number 1. She's leading overall. Sarah Briggs, number 2. So what happens with the tempo race, Dave? Do you know anything about the tempo race?
The tempo race, we'll have 5 neutralised laps.
Sorry, don't say neutralised, it's free laps.
5 free laps.
3 laps.
5 free laps. 5 laps where not a lot happens other than riders getting into position.
And there's no points scored. So what happens is, the free laps, they are non-scoring laps. So we used to think that it was neutralised, but what we said is we get away from that. It's 5 free laps. So riders are allowed to accelerate and attack early on.
So after those 5 free laps, there will be a point awarded to every rider who crosses the line on every subsequent lap in first place. So if you're in first place, you get a point.
Indeed, points make prizes.
If you take a lap from the rest of the field, so if you go round and lap and join the bunch, then you get 4 points. The rider with the most cumulative points at the end of the tempo race will get the 40 Omnium points. Second will get 38 Omnium points. So you're competing 4 points. However, the amount of points you get in the race are thrown out the window because you are awarded Omnium points as a result.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah, it does, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. So we're looking for every rider should be placed in position. So again, nobody wants to do any harsh attacks off the front of the group.
I'll tell you what I missed. Any rider who gets lapped has to immediately leave the track, and any points they have accrued get wiped.
No, that's changed as well since then.
Has it?
Yeah, it has.
Since this morning when I read the UCI website. That's annoying.
No, riders don't get taken out of the race anymore. They just lose points. So it becomes like a points race.
Okay.
So the tempo race, they just make the rules up half the time. They just change them just to make our job harder.
Points.
Here we go.
Points. Right, we've had the bell rung. So the first point of the tempo race will be awarded at the end of this lap. And it's going to go to Zoe Beckstead. She picks up where she left off in the scratch race by taking the first point of this tempo race that I'm about to go away and relearn the rules of.
Also, I think the points for gaining a lap are 20 and minus 20.
So if you keep your eye on the scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen, as the riders cross the line, we will be bringing you the points winners. Oh, that one was close on the line.
Sarah Briggs launched an attack. Again, these two are fighting tooth and nail against each other.
As soon as we get the official result, that'll be up on the board, but that is a close one. That one, not so close. Zoe Beckstead takes it.
So Zoe Backstead, she watch her acceleration. So she'll just accelerate, keep that rider on her hip, making her work the long way round.
That just little change of pace around the final bank then.
So
very impressive stuff. This tempo race, though, this format is relentless, isn't it?
Yep. You can't afford to relax, because if you get a rider... So watch Zoe Backstead. She's out the saddle. She's making herself big and large, intimidating the riders that are attacking. So again, once Zoe Backstead starts the sprint, she's got to stay between the black and the red. She can move up to the red line. So Zoe Backstead's got 3 at the moment, according to mine.
Well, here's a big move here Imogen Chastel, she went early.
Wow. She's got to keep this going now, because what happens is this horrible chemical reaction builds up in your legs and it feels as though you're just starting to park it up. So come on, let's cheer her on. 136, she's taking it.
Well, that's 2 in a row. And she's happy with that 2 in a row.
Oh, I think she should have gone for more.
She could probably cruise through another 1 there, maybe 2. But she did put a lot of effort in to get to the front of that group.
Okay,
Bethany Barnett just going through there.
It's 148 just getting lapped.
Natalie Bloomer took that one.
Oh, Sarah Briggs got that one.
No. We're going on numbers, not names.
Right. Zoe Backstead gets another one there. Dave, just look at the average speed of these girls.
Backstead takes another, 31.698 miles an hour, 51 kilometers an hour.
So I think Sarah Briggs has got that one for one sprint, and she's going for it again. Right.
Come on then, ladies and gents. Danielle Parker takes that one, wearing 147. It's been a huge effort from these riders. It's pretty much a sprint from start to finish. They've got to dig deep here to find something. And you could be the ones that help them as they come into the back straight. Come on, let's cheer them over the line. That's what we like. Oh, that's a big move as well. From Millie Cousins.
So Zoe Backstead sitting there just trying to pinch points, but there's riders attacking her all the time. So she's got to keep a game on. Here she goes, look. She just accelerates, that wonderful acceleration.
Yeah, just up out of the saddle for long enough to make a difference. Commissaire's finger goes out and points to her as the leader of the race. Final few laps then. No one's going to take a lap in this one, but plenty of points on offer.
Sprint every lap. I tell you, Zoe Backstead's sort of sitting pretty at the moment with the most points.
Makes you wonder, how would you even... Oh, that's a nice move there, though, from Kinga Ingram. I think she just took that one. Confirmation there. 144, that's Kinga Ingram.
So Zoe Backstead recognises the fact that she's done enough probably to win this overall. So she's allowing riders just to... So that's intelligent thinking, really. So she's allowed other riders to go off up the road. She's while she has a little bit of a recovery, knowing full well that she's accumulated 6-7 points, and there's not a lot other riders can do to overtake her.
Smart racing indeed, as Millie Cousins takes another. You might see different names on the board to what you hear me read out, ladies and gentlemen. There's a slight difference between what's on the system and what is on our sheet, so I'm going with the numbers. So go with what you hear, not with what you see. Come on then, for the final lap, Zoe Backstead digs in. She's dominated this tempo race in the same way that she dominated the scratch race, and will she finish by winning the final sprint? There's a big move coming around, but it won't be enough. Backstead is going to take the final sprint. She's going to take her second consecutive 40 points. Imogen Chastel crosses the line second there.
So there is the numbers of the riders up on the board, yeah.
So the top 5 then, Zoe Backstead with 9 points. Rider number 137 is Millie Cousins. She is second with 3 points. In third is rider 147, Danielle Parker. 136 is Imogen Chastel. She is in fourth. And rider 145, Yona Moyer, picks up 1 point, which is enough for fifth place. So those 9 points will be transferred into 40 Omnium points, which means Zoe Backstead is top of the tree, 80 points after 2 Omnium events in the girls' junior competition.
Greetings, 143. Young Sarah Briggs, who took it to Zoe Backstead in that opening scratch race. Again, nice to see Ellie Dilks in there. Yeah, some very young riders in here, and hopefully we'll see them progress. Okay, riders roll away. Normally, what happens is they'll get a rolling lap and then one free lap. So the first lap is a rolling lap, and our starter will fire the gun. Then they should get a free lap to settle themselves down, and then it's elimination time. So, again, I think this is a free lap. We'll see what happens. I'm sure it's a free lap. Yep, got the thumbs up. So this is just allow the riders to settle themselves in, get themselves in position. And then we've got elimination time. One rider at the back of the bunch. Every lap is eliminated. Some riders just don't like this race at all. But here we go. I'm going to turn my mic off now.
Rider 148, Bethany Spencer. (146) Abigail Old. (139) Ellie Dilks. (145) Iona Moyer. (132) Bethany Barnett. (138) Hannah Davis. (140) Rachel Earnshaw. 133, Natalie Bloomer. One, 4, 3, Elodie Gage. One, 4, 2, Isabella Escalera. One, 3, 5, Lucy Buckley. One, 3, 4, Sarah Briggs. One, 3, 6, Imogen Chastel.
2 more laps to go.
One, 3, 7, Millie Cousins.
So we are down to the last 3. 1 ride eliminated, then a sprint for the finish.
One, 4, 4, Kinga Ingram.
Come on, let's hear a big cheer for these last 2 rides. They're going to sprint it out into the last lap.
Ladies and gentlemen, Danielle Parker takes the win and the 40 points. Zoe Backstead takes 2nd place and 38. So as the whistle goes, let's remind you of the point situation and give you a couple of riders to keep your eyes on here. At the front of the pack there, that's Millie Cousins. She's in that sky blue, just dropping off. She's on 108 points in 2nd place, 10 points behind Zoe Backstead, rider 150 in that turquoise helmet and the blue and yellow racing suit. I expect to see Backstead keep a very close eye on Cousins. As for the riders in 3rd, 4th and 5th, Parker, Briggs and Chastel, they're on 102, 100 and 100 respectively. They need to take a lap. Certainly to take gold medal, but to put themselves in contention to get on that podium. And with only 30 laps and only 3 sprints available, including that double sprint on the final lap, if they're going to make a move to take a lap, Graham, they're probably going to have to do it early in the race.
I think so. I think they'll be policed very carefully by all the riders, and I don't think anybody will get away to take a lap. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what the leaders are going to do. They will have their own plan in place, but again, it depends what all the other riders do and how that plan will be affected. So they'll have a plan B, and some riders may have a plan C. Some riders might not even have a plan at all and just wing it. So we'll see what happens. But it's going to be a very, very exciting culmination of the day's racing for these girls.
The first one to push the pace was Rachel Earnshaw, but then she thought better of it. Already 5 laps down, so another 5 until we get our first sprinters. Remember, 5 points for winning the sprint, 3 for second, 2 for third, and 1 for fourth as Zoe Backstead hits the front of the group, something that we've seen her do very, very often today. She's on 118 out of a possible 120 Omnium points so far in the competition.
Yep, these riders, the points that they accumulate in this race get tallied onto their overall score. And again, at the end of this race, it is the riders with the highest points will get onto the podium. So again, it's so close to call between the sort of second, third, fourth, fifth riders that there's a silver medal up for grabs for any one of those 4 riders. I think Zoe Backstead will just police it very carefully from the front and do what she needs to do to secure that top spot on the podium.
Iona Moore there going round the outside.
So again, throughout the Omnium series, it used to be run over 2 days. We used to have some timed events, but again, they've shortened it down to 1 day and 4 events. So again, it makes it a very, very tiring, long day for these riders. It's about how well you get your recovery in between the races. So here we go. This should be the bell.
Here goes the bell, and the first 5 points up for grabs, and Zoe Backstead, as expected, is at the front of the group. But here goes the challenge around the outside. She's hanging on at the moment, though. Pretty much any time today, somebody's gone head-to-head with her. She's found a way to come out on top, and she secures the first 5 points of the points race to take her personal total up to 123. Once we receive confirmation of the results, we'll display those on the screen for you, and we'll try and keep the scores updated as well.
I think in these riders, these top 7 riders, all of our leaders are in that main group.
So scores on the board. Backstead picks up 5, Parker picks up 3, Cousins 2, and Bloomer 1. So Cousins moves on to 110 points to consolidate second. Danielle Parker moves out into bronze medal position on her own, 105 points. There we have the updated scores there. Backstead, 13 points in the lead, 123. Cousins, 110. Parker, 105. Chastel and Briggs on 100. So they need to make something happen to challenge Parker for that bronze medal spot at the moment. At one point, moved Bloomer up to 85 points, which doesn't do anything to her in the grand scheme of things. She's still in 7th place. And here's the move from Backstead. Gets the head down and digs in. Wants to bring the group with her. Isabella Escalera is the first to respond. Escalera working hard to catch up as well.
Yeah, one of the riders that missed out, Dave, on the last split was Sarah Briggs. So she needs to try and do something big in these next 2 sprints. She's currently trying to move forwards, but for her to consolidate that a 3rd position overall, she needs to do something special in these next 2 sprints. So Sarah Briggs needs to work very hard. We have the 3 leaders away.
Just received confirmation that Bethany Barnett, rider 132, has lost a lap. Group of 3 at the front: Isabella Escalera, Zoe Backstead, and Imogen Chastel. Chastel be very pleased to be there because really she needs to start scoring points. She's 5 points off the bronze medal position at the moment, held by Danielle Parker on 105 points. Sarah Briggs 134 and Imogen Chastel 136.
Sarah, sorry Dave, just introduce Sarah Briggs is having a massive, she's going to do something special. I said she's trying to bridge the gap by herself. She's bringing 3 riders with her, which may benefit because Hannah Barnes is not really in it. Come on, Sarah, you need to get on that wheel. It's nice to see young Sarah.
That's the bell lap then. The next 5 points up for grabs, and once again Backstead goes to the front of the pack.
But look at Sarah Briggs coming through as well. She's carrying that speed over the top of the riders. She hopefully will stay in that position if she can just dig a little bit harder. Coming out of bend 4.
Well, Chastel takes second. Briggs takes third, so more movement at the top. Another 5-pointer from Zoe Backstead takes her up to 128 points.
So only one more sprint left with double points, Dave. Again, that's a little bit mixed it up a little bit, hasn't it? There we go.
Confirmation there then. Chastel takes the 3. Briggs takes the 2. And Hannah Davis gets in there to take the 1 point. Davis in 9th place going into this final points race as the clock ticks towards 7.5 minutes. So Backstead in gold medal position, 128 points. Millie Cousins on 110. And Danielle Parker on 105. Imogen Chastel, though, and Sarah Briggs both picking up points there to really put the heat on Parker in that race for the bronze medal. Just 3 points separate 5th and 3rd.
So here we go. Riders are all to play for. Double points on this last sprint get added to your overall tally. Zoe Backstead is in the driving seat at the moment. She's sitting there pretty comfortably. I don't think she'll want to give up that final sprint at all. But again, it's so close for that bronze medal position.
Well, with the double points up for grabs, really, Briggs, Chastel, Parker need to pick up a first or a second to dislodge Cousins, who look pretty comfortable in silver medal position in the opening 3. But as we said, anything can happen in the points race, particularly now they've introduced that fantastic rule where it's double points for the final sprint. Make sure the races stay competitive until the very end.
Yeah, that was a great move from Sarah Briggs to recognise that she needed to get across to that bunch to try for that podium place. So Sarah Briggs in the Matlock CC kit is just sitting there monitoring what's happening in the race. She needs to score big on this next sprint with 4 laps remaining coming into the home straight. So select a rider. Let's hear it for these riders, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give them a big shout to the finish.
Well, Backstead makes a big move around the outside again, and she wants to take this one home in style. She was the leader going in. She's won both sprints so far, and now she's opening up a gap on everyone. She wants to take that 10 points for 138 in total. Well, no one's going to lap her, so all she needs to do is stay on her bike to take the gold medal. But
again, remember, ladies, it's all to play for, isn't it, Dave, for this 3rd spot? 2nd place looks pretty secure. So there's Zoe Backstead across the finishing line. 2 laps to go. She'll get the bell next time round. Lap riders stay down. So there's the leader, Zoe Backstead, with a white disc wheel just on the back straight. She's cruising home for the win. Let's give her a big shout.
Well, here is the bell. Zoe Backstead is going to take the 10 points, but let's see what is going on behind her. It's going to be a real race for the medals. Millie Cousins, 137. Danielle Parker, 147. Sarah Briggs, 134. And Imogen Chastel, 136. All in contention here.
There's some lap riders getting in the way as they're coming out of the bend 4 into the home straight. It's shoulder to shoulder. Wow. Crikey, Riley. I'll let the line judges call that one.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, one thing we do know is that your junior women's champion today is Zoe Backstead. Give it up for her. It has been a complete performance. First in the tempo race, first in the scratch race, second in the elimination race, and then winning all of the sprints in the point race. She is your champion. And I, for one, think that deserves a huge round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, Zoe Backstead.